the conference. So let's get started related journey of particularly robotic test automation, who will bring the end of scripting. So whenever I'm talking about the end of scripting, we need to make sure like the end of scripting will be second. Am I audible, Tony? Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, Swati.
Okay, so today's webinar will be related to the robotic test automation, and particularly in robotic test automation, like we are taking care about this without coding, how we can move ahead and do the test automation. So this topic is very useful for all of you, where we will be talking about the test automation related thing and how the robotic way we can handle the test automation. So let's go ahead and see one by one what are the things which we are going to see today. So the first topic is related to the robotic test automation advantages and what are the processes which we are going to use during this robotic test automation. Next, we will be seeing like the robotic test automation related scope and how we will be defining the scope related to test automation and how to define the architecture. So we already have our own architecture ready related to the test automation in robotic way. So how it is useful. So we are going to see that, and that will be like the important point you should know when you are talking about the test automation. And the third is like real time test case. So we are going to see the real time test case where the no code uh, no code related like the test case will be there, and we don't have to code anything, and we will be seeing how that particular test case will be created without coding, and how that test cases will be like executed, and the code is not needed at all. So when I'm talking about code is not needed at all, that means you don't need to do coding at all. So let's go ahead and see. This is my introduction. Like I'm having 18 plus years of experience in software quality assurance and automation era. So currently I am holding a founder and director designation in step one step ahead, and I'm a managing director for the robotics in QM Mentor. So overall, like 100 plus project I have delivered till now, and in that particularly like the automation is the big era which I'm having experience in. So when going ahead with this particularly related to the test automation era, I have done multiple certifications related to the testing and test automation. So you can see like the certification which I am carrying have received multiple awards in that. Like Women Entrepreneur Award is the one of the award which I have received. Then the CIO Review Award we have received for our company, and related to like the Women Entrepreneur and Award 2021. So 2 years consecutively I have received this award. So this is the short introduction about me, about speaker, and then I'm going ahead with the benefits of the automation. So why automation is necessary? What is the need of automation which we are having? So when I'm talking about the benefits of automation, the manual testing, whenever we are doing the manual testing, and that time like you are thinking to go ahead with the automation and the project needs automation or not. So we need to see particularly what is the strategy we will be following for the automation. So that is very important part in this category. Then secondly, like automation and the manual testing, the bigger benefit is like manual testing is more costly and time consuming, because it will require more and more hours to do the manual testing. But instead, like if we will do one time automation, that is the useful thing which can be helpful for the project. We can again like run the automation test suite overnight, so it will be helpful for you all. And all the projects according to client also, like whenever we will be getting good ROI out of it. So that is the main benefit of test automation. For manual testing, if we need to do it 24/7, in that case we need 24/7, so two shift or maybe three shift resources who will be working in that manual testing. So that's the reason automation is like 24/7 we can run it. Testing various sites manually is very difficult and complex, so whenever we are going ahead with the testing manually, this is very complex things which we need to do, because again and again with the different types of test data, with the different type of permutation combination of functionality, we need to do the testing. In this case, like this is very complex thing which we need to do in case of manual, but in case of automation it is a benefit. Then manual testing requires related human intervention, whereas automation doesn't. So whenever we are running the automation test suite, we will just run it, or maybe we can schedule the automation, and it can be run overnight, anytime, whatever, depending upon the client's need. So that is the plus point and the benefit which we are having. With the automation, the speed of test execution as well as test coverage increases. The speed of execution means manually, suppose I'm taking 30 minutes to run one test case for a banking domain, any use case. So that time, like that 30 minutes can be reduced to 5 or 6 minutes depending upon the automation. So we don't need to do the automation, we don't need to do the execution in terms of automation. It will directly done by the robot in case of test automation. So the speed is very important. Again, the speed of testing will be more in terms of automation, and in terms of manual, like if we are taking the example of any project, if there are 500 test cases which we need to do manually, so in that case it is more beneficial that we can use automation in this case. And automation can be used and we can go ahead with the more speed related to test execution. So these are the benefits related to automation. I'm just covering all these parts so that you can get that particular era of automation, and then we will start with the actual use case. So this is the automation testing process. We will first define the goals for automation, which type of automation we are going to do, planning for the testing approach, or how we are going to approach the testing. So that automation test approach is very important. The strategy is very important. Selecting the automation framework will be the next step. Then selecting test tool is the important point, where like we are going to use UiPath as a tool for the robotic test automation. Then test case design and execution is the next part, where and the maintenance of the script. So these 6 steps are very important, and in this case, like one by one, we are following the automation testing process. So this process is the worldwide followed process for any type of automation as well as the robotic test automation. What is the benefits of robotic test automation? So it is 70% faster than the manual testing. So normal automation is also like faster than manual testing, but building this particular test automation is very easy in case of robotic test automation. Reliable results are there, consistency is there, reusability of scripts will be there. So in this test related like test suite, we will be creating workflows, we will be creating sequences, we will be creating the framework. So everything will be like reusable, where we don't have to do it again and again. It will improve accuracy, then saving of time and cost, both will be there, and early go to market. Early go to market is the main point where like robotic test automation is gaining the market. So that's the reason like everyone wants to use the robotic test automation, because it don't require code, it don't require much time to do the scripting as well as maintenance. What are the things which we need to take care of while defining the automation scope? So feature which are important for the business, because we are working for a business, we are working for a client. So for the client, for the banking domain client, the banking domain related use cases are very important for the business. If insurance domain client is there, so that is very important for the business. So depending upon that business type, we need to, depending upon the domain, we need to follow the importance of the whatever important use cases which business needs to be automated. So we need to take that as a first scope for the automation. Then scenarios which are having a large amount of data set. So whenever we are taking care of automation, then in that case, the large amount of data manually, if we want to test, then it will be very hectic, and we can miss, as a person we can miss the things manually. So that's the reason, like whenever large amount of data will be there, we need to take the automation in that particularly in scope. So technical feasibility, then the extent to which business components are reused. So we need to think about the technically it is feasible to do the automation or not. The automation testing, when we are talking about, then our application is suitable for automation or not technically. So that needs to be checked. Otherwise afterwards, like when the application is not suitable, and we will start with the automation, so it can pause our automation journey, and it will be not helpful for like getting the automation suite completed, and we can lose the track for the automation. So that is very important. The extent to which business components are reused, and the complexity of the test cases, and ability to use the same test case for the cross browser testing. So whenever we are talking about the compatibility of different browsers, the same application, for example, Amazon, the same application we need to use for different browser. So the compatibility is coming into picture. In that case, the test automation and robotic test automation will coming into like more area or more scope will be there, because again and again same test suite we need to run on different browsers. And the complexity of the test cases, if test cases are more complex related to business, so we should take that first as the automation or like automation testing scope, because the complexity of the test cases matters, and we need to take care related to the business complexity. So these points are very important related to defining the automation scope. Now we can see like which type of test cases we can automate and which we cannot automate, we should not automate rather. So which test cases we need to automate. So huge number of test cases that can be time consuming, performed manually. So we need to take care of such test cases where the testing high priority features will be there, where the risk of human errors can be accomplished. Then whenever we are talking about the different types of browsers, so compatibility testing, cross browser testing, so that time we need to take care of these test cases we can take care of automation. Then in large projects, whenever the testing is needed for every release, after every release we need to do the test cases execution again and again. So for example, like one of the insurance domain project are having 2000 test cases, but every release we need to make sure like every component and every module is working fine or not. So we need to run that test suite again and again. So in that case, like we need to do the automation. Otherwise manually how many resources we can keep, and how many resources can do that same type of testing again and again. So we need to think which test cases we need to do the automation, and that will be feasible for automation, as well as like that will be useful for the business to automate. So going ahead with like which test cases test cases are not suitable for automation. So the test cases which are newly designed and not tested manually at least once. So that test cases can have multiple defects. Defect clustering will be there. And then in that cases, like in that test cases, if you can go with automation, it will be very harmful because in automation journey, you will face multiple challenges. Defects will be there, and you are not able to complete that particular flow. So these test cases are not feasible to automate. Otherwise, you will again lose the track of automation, and it will be not useful for your client. So you need to remember that test cases which like for which the requirements are not clear. If you're going for automation strategy and the requirements are still not clear, clients are coming with the different types of CRs, and that CR percentage are high, more than 50%, like CRs are coming, change requests are coming in the test cases. So this type of application is not particularly for the, like these test cases are not particularly for the ready for automation. So we need to wait, we need to solve that CR, we need to do the manual testing first on that, and for regression we can definitely go ahead for the automation. Test cases which are not executed, which are executed on the ad hoc basis. So we don't have like test cases which are like we are doing ad hoc basis. We are doing, sometimes we are using any type of test data for that test cases. So ad hoc test cases will be having some checklist where like we are going to do the testing. We are doing the monkey testing in some cases. So that type of test cases will be not good for automation. So before starting the automation, according to my experience, we should take care of like different types of methodologies, different type of frameworks, which framework we are going to use, which is the strategy we are going to use. So all these points are very important. This is very like script automation, the traditional automation, and you must have seen related to, like we are doing this by using like packages, classes, and the code will be there. So different lines of codes will be required. So this is a traditional automation which we are taking care, and for that we need code. But there is a good news, like we don't have to use code for doing the robotic test automation. So in robotic test automation, we are going to use some activities. We are dragging and dropping that activity on screen. And after drag and dropping that activity, we need to use some kind of like methods. We need to use some kind of attributes, and then we are going to do the automation. So let's see which tool we are going to use. So we are going to use the tool as a UiPath test suite. So UiPath is the RPA tool, robotic process automation tool, and the like for UiPath, we can do the robotic test automation as well as robotic process automation. So like robotic test automation related activities will be different, and we need to just drag and drop activities from this activity panel, you can see. And this is the canvas where we are going to drag and drop the activities, and we are going to use this activity. This is a running the robot. So after clicking this button, the we are going to run the robot, and we are going to run the robot related to whatever robot we have created for the test automation. So this is very simple tool which we are having, and by using this tool we can definitely do any type of automation in industry. So we are doing like automation for banks, we are doing the automation for uh, insurance domain, e-commerce domain. So different types of test cases, different types of suite can be run. So you can see like we can do functional test automation, that is the regression testing we can do, then API test automation, mobile test automation, web automation, then desktop automation, and SAP automation. So any type of testing, automation testing can be done by using robotic test automation. So in one tool, under one roof, we will be seeing this all testing functions or all testing related things are encapsulated, and these are the things we can do. So you don't have to learn anything else. With one tool you can do any type of automation. So that's the beauty of this particular test automation. So this is robotic test automation architecture which we are using mostly. So you can see here the orchestrator is there, test UiPath Test Pro is there, and test robots are there. So robots are running the test script. So test suite we are going to run on the robot. UiPath Test Pro is for developing the scripts or developing the uh, workflows for the testing. So developing the test cases in short, and orchestrator like from where we can uh, debug, or maybe we can run the test cases. So we need to connect the test cases to the orchestrator, and we can run that test cases, and we can see the result on the orchestrator. So this can be connected to Git. So we are using GitHub for our clients. We are using like Excel. We are using JSON databases. So whatever you want to use, you can use as a data set. So that is possible. Then browser stack, you can use browser stack. You can use multiple browser testing. You can do by using the UiPath. We can connect any type of test management tool. So we can connect Jira, we can connect ALM tools. Then HTML reporting will be there, where it will be very easy reporting from the business end. So for example, a person who don't know about testing, then also that person, the business person, senior management can understand this HTML report. Then orchestrator test execution results will be also there. Then email notification, if you need reports on email, so that is also possible. So we can definitely do all types of integrations, all type of reporting by using the robotic test automation architecture. So this architecture we have also created like for our clients and organization, and that can be 70% reusable. This is mainly the robotic test automation advantages, like maximizing ROI, because robotic test automation is 70% more efficient and productive than the normal script automation, because here the script is not needed. Faster delivery will be there, 24 by 7 availability, productivity is getting increased, and scalable is there. So you can scale up bots. If you don't need bots then you can again ramp down, and you can reduce that. So that is depending upon the business functions and the client's need, we can do this. So we need to install whenever you will be trying the particular use case related to the robotic test automation, you need to install UiPath Test Pro. That is free, you will be getting on UiPath website. Then UiPath Orchestrator will be needed, and UiPath robot will be needed. So you can just download all these softwares and install that softwares in your machine. And you can also try related to generating this particular test case, which we are going to see today. So test case component and type, given when then formula is mainly for the test cases in UiPath. So given means when we are dealing with test data or preconditions of the test cases. So any input data, Excel, where we are keeping our data, multiple data for multiple iterations, then databases. So that will be provided in given. When means the actual workflow where the steps will be executed, and then means the test validation. So wherever we are matching the expected result and actual result, and it is matching or not, so we need to see that. So when I'm talking about the given when then, this is very important thing in terms of test cases when we are going to create it. Workflow types will be test cases and data driven test cases. So test case is a template for the single test case automation, and data driven test cases whenever we are inputting multiple data, and whenever we are having the large amount of data for different permutation combinations. So we will be using data driven test. So let's see the related verification point. So whenever we need to give the testing verification activities, we need to take care of these three testing activities. We can use any one of this. Verify expressions with operator, verify control attribute. So verify expressions is like whenever it's straightforward, we are giving the expected result and actual results, whatever is there. So this is a straightforward, then we can use verify expressions. Whenever we need to give less than, equal to, or multiple like operators are there, we need to use verify expressions with the operator. And it is already there. We just have to use it. We don't have to code anything. We just have to click here and use whatever symbol you need to, of whatever operations we need to use. And we need to specify what we need to compare. The third one is verify control attribute, where specific related thing we need to give, and we need to specify the control attribute. In that case, we can use the verify control attribute. So these three verification activities will be there in UiPath as a tool, and we can use whatever depending upon our test cases. Whenever we will be finishing our test case, we need to publish that test case in the test case format, and then we can push that in the orchestrator. In orchestrator, we can run the test cases, we can schedule the test cases, and we are going to see today how to publish the test cases in orchestrator as well. So let's go ahead and see how the orchestrator looks. So you can see here the orchestrator screenshot, where the orchestrator related details will be there. And we can run we have to set up our robot here in orchestrator, and we have to run our robot for the test cases. So it's a combination of robot and orchestrator, where the test suite, the pro will be for the creation of the particular test suite or test case. So we will be seeing all these in detail and actually how this will be done. So you can see here test cases will be there, test sets will be there, test execution and schedule. So whenever you can see one by one, like after clicking on test cases, you will be getting the test cases related information, test set related information. We need to create one test set and we need to allocate the test cases in that. And then test execution related information, the pass fail or whatever the results will be, depending upon that we will be getting that information. Test schedules, we need to see like how many test cases and which test suite are scheduled. So we can see that in test schedule. And this is very simple. And we just have to set some activities, we have to set some properties, and we can use that. So here is the test case which we are going to see today. So we are just going to log in into Amazon application, and we need to put some data, test data in that particular application. And then we will see, like we will click on sign in. Then we will see we will train the robot to check, like verify, this particular email ID and that is a username and password is correct or not. So after entering that, we will check the expected result. In that, user should able to log in if it is correct login. If it is wrong login, then you robot will throw the message like this login is not correct. That means either it is a defect. If login is correct, still it is giving like login is not correct. So either it is defect or maybe it is a valid condition and it is not a correct login. So let's see how to create this test case one by one. Slowly I will show you how to drag and drop this particularly, and how to use this particular data in this particular test case. And it's a e-commerce functionality which I'm going to show you. So let's open UiPath, and then we will see like how UiPath looks. Then we will see how we need to use this particularly. So you can see here on screen UiPath is there, and you can create new sequence, you can create new flow chart in case like you wanted to use the flow chart. So here we are going to create the sequence, we are going to create new sequence, and we are starting from zeros, like so you will understand each and every functionality how we are going to do. So I have created one sequence here, and one by one, I will be showing you how to create it. So first of all, we need to use the kill process. So kill process is used whenever the previous browser is open, or maybe this particularly the Chrome browser is open, and I need to close that browser. So that is very important point where we need to kill that particular browser, and then we need to start with our process. So open browser is the activity which I'm going to drag and drop here, and I need to give the which browser I need to open. So here I need to open a browser which is a Chrome browser, and I need to open a website that is amazon.in. So I'm just copying it, this amazon.in website, and I'm just like specifying which browser type I need to. So in input, you can browser, you can show the browser, and you can use the browser, and just a second, here in right side, here in right side you can just click on that which browser you want to choose, and then you can choose the Chrome as a browser. Then next is, after opening this amazon.in website, I need to use the click activity, because I need to click on that particular button. So I'm choosing that button, and I'm checking like the particular button is getting click or not. So click is the activity, I'm just dragging it, dropping it, and then I have to indicate that particular where to click on screen. So that's the reason, like if I wanted to click on the another button, so in that case I have to use that particularly, like which button or which text box or which password box. So whatever text box I need to click, I have to show that to my robot, like go there and click. So it is very simple, I'm just showing click on that all button. That's it. Then next, I will be showing my robot to click on sign out, because sign out is the button will be there, and then after that, if it is already sign in, then I have to sign out, and then I can show my like I can show my robot to doing the sign out and then signing in again. So depending upon what is your test case, suppose these are the steps for my test cases, and I am assuming like these are one by one test cases I am doing, and I am using it one by one. So I'm training my robot to do this particular thing one by one. So I'm just showing my robot how to check that sign out. So if I'm going to click on that particular sign out button, so I'm just taking the click activity, dragging, dropping, and I'm showing my robot to go there and do the click for a particular sign out button. So that's the reason I'm using click activity. So there are different activities which we are going to use. First of all, like we have used the open browser activity, then we have used like we have given the details about the browser, we have opened the browser which is a Chrome browser, then we have given the website. So suppose you wanted to open the banking website or insurance website, so related information you have to provide in that particular thing. And you can choose Edge browser, you can choose Firefox browser, Internet Explorer browser. So depending upon your need, client's needs, you can choose the browser. Then I have what I have done, I wanted to click on that particular button. So I need to click on that button. So I'm giving the information to my robot to go there and click. So that's the reason I'm using click activity. Then the sign out, I have to click on sign out, and then I will be using the click activity, and I'm going to train my robot to tell the robot like you need to click on that particularly sign out. So let's run this robot and see the output, because slowly we will come to know like which type of robot we are creating and how easy it is there. So let's run it, and let's run that robot and see like how it is looking, how it is feeling process, and how it is going on to on that particularly like amazon.in website. Then how it is clicking, see it is clicking on that button because we have trained the robot to click on that button. Then it will click on sign out. So we need to train the robot according to like that particularly how it is going or how the robot should work. So we need to train the robot one by one, and then we have to instruct the robot related to how this particularly like all the steps needs to cover. So here I have used test data. I have used test data as amazon.in. So that is my test data here. If I wanted to pass that test data in that particularly like in excel, so that also can be done, but not here. Like it will take time to show you how to do that entirely as a test case. So that's the reason it will be like one by one we need to do. Now robot understand like till sign out. Now we need to train the robot for the sign in. After sign out, like we need to do the sign in. So that's the reason we are checking the sign in functionality, verifying the sign in functionality. So I have trained my robot to click on that particular sign in button, and I have trained my robot to click on sign in button so that I can put username and password after I will be getting that window. So I have done the sign in related click activity, and this is just a drag and drop again, and showing robot like where to click. So if you are using the correct nomenclature for every activity, it will be good for you, because otherwise this particular workflow will or the sequence will go on, and then you will forgot which where you have done that particular clicking and what is the name of that. So you need to follow the development practices, whatever like are good practices for the development. So click sign in, click sign out. So your robot will be understanding from, you will be showing like where to click, what to type. But for our understanding, for the team's understanding, we have to follow that. So now type into is one of the activity which we will be using when we will be using that typing the email address or mobile number. So here we will be using the email address. So let's go ahead and show like type into activity to where to type in. So we need to show the robot where we need to type. So I'm just showing the robot where to type. So robot understand now, like it's the input, and like type into activity I have used, and I have highlighted that. So here this tool is giving you all information related to highlighting, then indicate on screen, everything is there. Now I need to give the data. I'm directly giving data here. You can give it from here, or you can use database, you can use excel, you can use any type of like data set, and you can pass data. For that connection will be needed. So now I'm just putting my data here. Just a second, I have just, the email id is wrong, let me correct it. So here whenever like I am handling this particularly, and whenever like I'm training the robot, so in that case we need to make sure whenever we are training the robot, we need to uh, give the instruction, proper instructions to robot. Otherwise robot will not understand that what needs to do. We need to train the robot for the each exceptions as well. Whenever verification point we need to choose which are the verification point our test cases needs to be done. So that all points and like related exceptions we need to handle in the robot. So let's go ahead and like after putting this email ID, we need to go ahead and see like continue button we need to click. So we need to train the robot to click the continue button. So click is the activity again. I need to use it, drag and drop, and I need to show my robot where I need to click. So indicate on screen I will be using. So now robot understand what to type, robot understand what to click, then like which browser I have to use, everything robot understand. So you can use any type of selector. These are known as selectors, and attributes are there related to that particular element or object on screen. We need to validate that. We can select multiple items so that it will give you more a specific area where like where to click or what to type. So that is also important. Otherwise, it will fail your test case. And then if element is robot will not get that particular object or element related to sign in, sign out, or that text box, then it will be difficult for robot to understand. So we need to make sure like we will be selecting multiple selectors. It is known as selectors. So now after clicking on this particular button, I will be getting the password field. Now I need to train my robot to click on password field, fill the password. So I will be telling my robot to type into the password field. I have to type my password. So type into password I need to use. So I am typing, I'm giving my password here as well. Like I need to see like the it is highlighting properly by clicking like highlight to the screen, and then whenever my robot will understand like password field is there, and like he needs to it needs to go to the password field and it needs to type into that particular password. After that, after putting the password, sign in button I need to click. So I have to use again click activity, where like the robot will understand where to click, and then that sign in button I need to validate on screen, and then I can highlight it, okay, and I will check it is getting properly or not, and that's it. So after putting the username password, it will go in on the sign in and click on sign in button. After that, I need a verification point, right? Because this is a test case, and it is properly signed in or not by using correct password and correct username. So the for verification, I need to keep something. So I'm keeping sign out button presence as a verification point. So this sign out button is present, then that means my test case is executed properly. So that's the reason I'm training my robot to go and check for this sign out button. So if sign out button is there, I need to just verify that, and I need to make sure like sign out is there and I'm using it. So after this particular thing, I need to like publish this test case, and then I need to go into orchestrator, and then I need to choose some functions in the orchestrator. I need to set my robot in the orchestrator, and I need to uh, check and expected result is coming properly, and the actual result whatever I'm getting is proper. So everything I need to do now. So this is very simple. If you can see in 10 minutes, quickly we have just created the test case. I'm just repeating all steps again quickly so that you will be getting each and every point what I did. So let me go from scratch. So first of all, I have killed the process or the browser, whatever is open, and then I go into this particularly Chrome browser. If it is open, it will kill that process and that Chrome browser will be closed. Then I have used open browser as an activity. I have chosen my browser, and then I have, after choosing the browser from here, I have just mentioned which browser, which website I have to open. So Amazon.in I have opened. Then after that, I need to click on this particularly that button, and then sign out button. I need to click if it is already there. Then I need to check for the sign in button. Then I have click on email because I need to type into that email address, so email or phone number. So I'm providing the test data, that is the email ID. Then I have click on continue as a button, so click activity, then type into password that I have used, and then I have click on login button. So this is the thing. Then I have publish, I need to publish that into the test case. So for that particular thing, as I shown you in the presentation, I need to use given, when, then. So given, when, and then. So in when, as I told you, like we need to we need to give the reference to our sequence. So I am invoking my login functionality workflow, which is the name of my workflow, and I'm importing the argument, and then what will be the expectations from this, particularly from this test case. So I will be checking the expected result and actual result, and then I will be checking the sign out button is there or not, and then if it is expected result is matching with the actual result, this test case is passed. And this is very simple test case I'm showing you, so that in first attempt you can just after this session you can just go and check particularly this test case you can create, and you can create it easily within half an hour, and you can execute that test case. Okay, so let's go ahead and see like how to run this test case. So just running the file. So I'm just running the file, and like this particularly this test case will get executed. So it killed the browser. It will go on that particular link, click on that, sign out, and then if it is sign in, then it will go and sign out. Then do the email username and password. It will put, and it will get into that. It will check like it is sign out button is there, and it go on. So you can see here in 20 seconds, this particular test case got executed, and you can see like the verification pass. So this information we are going to get here, as well as in the whenever we are going to connect it with the orchestrator, that time we will be getting the same information like it is pass or fail in the orchestrator. So this information we can see in html report as well, but it is not connected now here. So we are seeing this particular information here. You can get this information in the test management tool. You can get information in html report. You can get this information on email. You can get this information on orchestrator. So whatever test case we have created, TC001 is passed now. Now let's go ahead and see the orchestrator, the important part of running the test cases. So just a recap, we have just drag and dropped all activities and given instructions to the robot for creation of test case. Now, this is the orchestrator. You need to create login in orchestrator. You need to, after the orchestrator like is open, you can see this orchestrator, and you need to uh, download some packages related to the testing. So after like the packages are downloaded, because when you will be creating this particular orchestrator new, so you will not get that packages. So you need to download that packages related to testing. You will get all information on the UiPath website as well, and then you can go and select the robot, run the like connect the robot from here. So let's go ahead and connect our robot. So here, whenever we are getting into this, the type we need to choose. Here we are doing the testing. As I said earlier, this is the particularly this software is used for RPA. This software is used for RPA robot and non-production robot and unattended robot. So we need to choose the testing as a type. And whenever we are using the non-production robot, and we are having license, we have to choose non-production as a robot type. So testing we are choosing, and then uh, like we are setting all these activities and the properties so that we will not get any problem in our execution. So now we need to click on testing, and we need to go here. You can see here the test set, test cases, test execution, test schedules, then test data queues. So every information you will be getting here. So now what you are doing, we are connecting our orchestrator with our robot, because orchestrator is the umbrella from where we can run any type of test cases. So that's the reason orchestrator is very important. And the first one, Amazon login test, we are going to run. So now, like we need to run it from here, so that we need to click on the orchestrator, and we need to click on execute button. So after clicking on execute button, the particular test case is going to run. So that's it. Execution is in queue, and it will go in queue. It will run the same test case which we have run directly. So now this particularly this test case will be running. You can see the robot is running. It putting that particular steps whatever we have trained, and it is running that particular test case. If it is passed, after execution the expected result is matching with the actual result, then this particularly this test case is passed, otherwise it will be failed. So now you have seen like the sign out button was there, and if we are going into the automation in the orchestrator, and we can see that particularly the test case which we have run just now, and it is passed. You can see the time a minute before. So this test case we have run by using orchestrator as well. So suppose your client is having multiple test cases, your client are having like thousands of test cases, you need to bundle it off, you need to take the proper framework, and you can use the orchestrator, and the test case execution can be done from here. And you can see like a minute before all result is there. You if you need screenshot, then screenshot can be seen here. You can see the screenshots, you can see like how many test cases were there, how many are pass fail, so assertions will be shown here. And the same thing you can get in folder if you are using the framework, as I shown you earlier. Like if we are using a framework, in that framework you can take the particular screenshots, you can take the details. So these are the execution details, like what is the project name, test case name, the version, machine, robot, then like start date, then end date, what is the result, and input values. Whenever we are taking the input, like we are taking the input values from any Excel, we are taking input values from any like database, then it will be there. And output values what will be. So we need to see the detail about the execution. Then in that case, like we can definitely have the execution related information here. And this execution related information can be also shown in this particularly like whenever framework we are using. So in that framework we can have that information. So this is related to orchestrator. Now like if we are having different test set, we can use that. If we are having different test cases, we can see here that test cases in the orchestrator. So we are having different types of test cases, so these can be seen here. If you are taking the exam, if you are taking the like the project example, and you are having that test cases suite, the regression test suite, smoke test suite, then sanity. So depending upon that, you can create your test sets here, and your test cases can be like created in the Pro, and you can move that here. And for learning this particular tool, you don't have to pay anything. Yeah, this the tool is like you can download it and you can do learning on that particular tool. And whenever we are talking about this UiPath as a tool, we need to take care of entirely like the training of robot, how we are going to train this robot, and how this robot will be getting into each steps, then how this robot will be taking the expected result, comparing expected and actual results, so that is also important. And then like how we are going to create the test suite, and how we are giving the particularly like test cases into given when then. And then coming to the orchestrator, like we need to connect the orchestrator to the robot, and we need to after connection of the orchestrator, we need to like set that particularly. And we need to like give the related information, connection, disconnection will be there. So all these things are very important. But whenever you will be starting using this tool, this is like on and off, you can use this very easily. And uh, you can definitely learn like from using drag and drop. So as I mentioned in my starting slides, like we don't have to do any type of coding. So this is the test case which I have shown you, end to end test case with the execution, with the orchestrator connection. And we have executed that test case with the one test data, and we have created it. If in case we want to check the same test case with the multiple data sets, in that case we need to pass that data by using Excel sheets, or we need to pass the data by using the data database, or the Excel, whatever CSV or Excel file which will be there. So that's it from my end. The framework is the key whenever we are going for robotic test automation. If you are having a robust framework and you are having a knowledge related to like how to pass the input and output, and how to check the verification points, then it is very easy to get the knowledge about the robotic test automation. And it is the key for, or it's the beauty of robotic test automation. So thank you so much. You can ask your questions so that I can just provide you the answers related to it if you are having. So it is open for questions. Yeah, so Mikali is there and she's asking, could you please name the most common application type, web, desktop, mobile, SAP, etc. You're dealing with while automating the test by using robotic automation tools. Please give us an idea on the numbers of test cases you are dealing with and real projects which are automated by using UiPath. So the question from Mikali is like, can I give some examples related to real-time projects? Definitely, Mikali. I can give the real-time project examples. So recently, we are handling one of the US customer, where the customer is the banking domain customer. I cannot name it surely, but the test cases which team is creating daily basis, like one resource is creating 3 to 4 test cases by using UiPath, and the number of test cases which clients are having are 2,400, which they need to move to automation. And in 1.5 months, almost we have completed 157 test cases by using two resources. And the test cases which are there uh, are medium complexity, high complexity test cases, not a low complexity. So medium and high complexity test cases which we are taking care. So normally by using traditional automation and the scripting, I can say, like according to my experience, which project I have worked before by using traditional automation and the script automation is like daily, I think one or two test cases per person, one test automation engineer can create. And depending upon this ratio, the test cases which can be created by using robotic test automation is the double. So I can say you are getting like the double productivity, and you are saving like 50% of timing and cost for your customer. So that is the example I can give. The another example I just thought of just now is like one of the customer wanted to check different browsers, and that time like we have set the framework according to that, we have molded our framework according to that particular requirement. And after like creation of this particular framework, and after molding this framework for different browser, previously this client was taking, like client was using some scripting, and it was taking around creation of this particular script a week for creation of 5 test cases by using scripting, where we have covered there, like we have developed the framework, and we have molded our framework like that. So from excel sheet, from input data, they are creating their test cases, and they don't have to do the scripting again and again by using UiPath and the framework, which we are having our proprietary framework. We have mold that, and the client is getting like 6x ROI out of it. So like it is a huge use case which we have done just now. So robotic test automation for the maintenance also, our clients are getting good benefit out of it, because like when I'm talking about maintenance and the scripting or the traditional automation, I need to take care of like the scripts, I need to take care of maintaining the scripts. But here like whenever you are choosing the selector properly, and dynamic selectors are there, where even if the the particular element or particular object are getting changed, or maybe the place for the object are getting changed, then also the selectors will work properly, and the dynamic selectors will be helping out the test automation. We don't have to do anything, and the same script will be working, the same workflow will be working in the next application, or after like the changing of the position of the objects. So that is also important part related to maintenance. So in case of maintenance, it is very useful to like get the automation, or to get the right tool, because maintenance is the pain point in IT industry. According to my 18 years experience and 100 plus projects, the pain point after doing the automation, after creation of automation, is having the maintenance of the particular scripts, or having the maintenance and reusability, as well as the execution cycle. If you heard about the pesticide paradox, so the same type of test cases are not giving the result, or not giving the defects. In that case, we need to change that particularly. If you are talking about defect clustering, the particular module are having multiple defects, and we need to carry that module for the automation. And previously like manual tester have received more and more defects, like 40 to 50% defects in entire application in that particular module. Then we need to take care about the automation, and in that case we cannot we need to focus on test coverage, and entirely all the test cases with different permutation combination we need to cover. So in that case like we cannot just let it go, we need to focus on that defect clustering module. And there like the robotic test automation will be giving you more and more feasibility, and you can create the requirement traceability metrics as well, where like requirement traceability metrics for the automation will help you out to maintain the test coverage. So, whenever we are talking about robotic test automation, we need to just understand the activities which we are going to use. Then we need to understand the properties which are useful for our automation. And the third part is the framework which we are going to use, which will take the test cases and execute it, give the reports in the HTML format. So that three things are very important, and creation of test cases, creation of automation is very useful by using robotic test automation. Mikali, I think this particular answer survives your questions. Thank you. Okay. Okay, definitely yes. Yeah. So, is there any other question related to the robotic test automation? And I just wanted to understand from all the attendees that is it useful to understand the test automation and how easy it is? Are you enjoyed this particular session? Because that is also important part which I need to know. So, if you can put in chat window that you have really enjoyed, and is it useful for you, it will be really great to know, like if it is definitely useful for you for your career, and in whatever field you are there, you can use this test automation practice and test automation easy way without scripting. Yeah, so the same question, the same person asked the question, like there is still a feeling that there should be some hidden underwater rocks while using RPA for testing. So it's not a RPA for testing. First of all, you need to cover this understanding, or you need to clear this understanding of RPA and RTA. So when I'm talking about the RPA is the another thing, when I'm talking about the RTA is the another thing. If you are going with the RPA, that is the robotic process automation, and this comes after your application is live and everyone is using it, every customer is using it. And let's take example, when RPA is coming into picture. So if my banking application is like completely developed, completely tested, and I have done the automation also on that, and by using traditional automation for example, so after that it will go live, and then my customer will be started using it. And then if I wanted to do something on that particular application, repetitive process, in that case RPA is coming into picture. So RPA is for invoice processing, bank reconciliation, PO processing, the repetitive process, anything you need to do repetitively and you wanted to give that to the robot is the RPA. So this concept is slightly different. The RTA, robotic test automation, will be used in case of like the testing thing. So whenever we are going in SDLC, software development life cycle, and when we are going into the testing phase, there particularly this comes into picture, and we need to take care of like testing. That time this RTA is coming into picture, and the RPA is different and RTA is different. So you need to first understand the conceptually, and it is not like any hidden underwater rocks will be not there. And I can say this 100% because multiple projects I have done till now in traditional automation by using all types of frameworks. Then I have done like projects the last few months. I'm doing projects in RTA after like UiPath came into picture with the test suite. So I can say before and after, like before I was using this traditional automation, and now I am using RTA, robotic test automation, for our clients. So clients are also happy because the same thing they were having in 2 months, or whatever they were getting in 2 months, the same output if they are getting with the one person in 1 month, like then it will be definitely helpful for them and they are getting good ROI. Like, so these things are important to understand. This is not anything like hidden things are not there, and this is a simplicity. After clicking on that particular activity, if you can see here, if whenever I'm taking any activity, and if I'm taking open browser as an activity, behind this definitely there is a code. Behind this there is a code. Someone have done the coding behind this and given me this function to use. Just like that, we are doing the actual script or actual code while doing the scripting. So here the code is there behind this, but as a user, as a like a tester, I will be using this activity to open this particular browser. Just like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, these are the software. The MS Office is a software which we are using. In this case, if I am saying like after clicking on B button or in the Word, it will the text will get into bold. So behind that there is a code, and I'm just using the front end. I'm just using that button, and it is easy for me to get that done. Just like that just like that this is the interface where behind this there are multiple codes incorporated, encapsulated, but I am using a clean version of it where I can just drag and drop, provide the information, take the activities, give the properties, and select the properties, and just I will be creating this workflow, nothing else. So this is the particularly like the idea behind robotic test automation software. And personally, like when I have started my journey as a developer, and then I have shifted to multiple roles in IT industry. I was a business analyst, I was a test lead, I was a automation test lead, I was a automation project manager, I was a automation program manager, senior manager. So multiple roles I have played in this particular automation, and I have seen the industry from different angles and 360-degree view. So I have seen the traditional automation, and now I am seeing this automation by using RTA, that is robotic test automation. And I can feel it like this is the simplicity which is coming into picture. And if I can create the test suite for a regression of my client within 1.5 months with the 157 test cases, and client started using it by like starting from the requirement understanding, creation of requirement traceability, creation of the scripts, creation of molding of the framework, and then like doing the dry runs, giving the approvals, taking the approvals from the client, and now it is running, and executions is carry on daily basis, 3 times or 4 times. So this is the use cases which these are the use cases which we are already having. We have created it, and we are doing the projects in RPA as well. And like both things are different. Both things are like using same tool. Definitely we will be using, but the activities for the testing, and the orchestrator for the testing, and the orchestrator for the RPA is different. Then the activities like related to testings will be different, and like whatever creation of that particular test cases and given when, then that will be not there in RPA. So these are two different things altogether, two different concepts altogether, and this is very easy and beautiful way of designing test suite or test cases in the automation way. So Mikhail, any other question you are having? Hope you are happy with these answers, and you are getting the information related to that. And thank you so much for asking such questions, because These are the very important things. Whatever is in your mind about this particular concept, or particularly like learning things, you should ask whenever like someone is telling you to ask questions. So I'm only getting one person who is asking questions, no one else. So maybe they are not having questions in their mind, or they are not asking it. Any other question? Okay, so let's conclude the session. You can definitely add me on LinkedIn. If you are having any question, you can definitely ask me. I'm happy to help you out related to like any type of understanding of the tool, understanding of the RTA, or understanding of the framework, how to use that in your organization. If you wanted to know any concept, definitely you can ping me on LinkedIn, and you can ask me. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day. Have a great life ahead. Take care. Bye bye.